John was working in his science lab, got blasted by gamma rays. Now he's Smash Trivia John, always smashing. He's friends with Ruffalo, crushing on Maslany, and also Sydney Sweeney. John's here saying, hello my gamma friends, welcome to the show, the Gamma Analysis Podcast.
Smash.
Hello, my Gamma friends. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies, TV shows, and I also do random other geeky films. I hope you enjoy Smash Trivia Presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening if they could please do something for me. Hey, please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. Now let's smash right into this episode. So before I announce what this episode is if you notice that this recording is a bit laggy, it's just because my internet is out right now. So I'm trying to do this on a hotspot on my phone, and it is a pain, but we're gonna try and get through this. As today, I'm gonna review Casper as the final film of the spooky season, and I'm very excited. I to talk about this. I'm talking about it with RebeccaAttack, aka your resident spooky girl on TikTok. How you doing, Rebecca?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It was a lot of fun going back and watching this movie again. And it's been in many years since I've watched this.
Absolutely. I went back and watched it today, and I think it aged pretty well. And
yeah.
I was happy about that aspect.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like, I feel like this is a very underrated family Halloween movie because you never hear people talk about this one anymore. But it's such a fun film.
Oh, I absolutely loved it when I was young because I'm a millennial, so I grew up with this movie. I had it on VHS and I thought it was so much fun. And I do think that people get caught up in the hype of like all around Hocus Pocus. Not that Hocus Pocus isn't great, but when people think about older kids' Halloween movies, they go straight to Hocus Pocus, and Casper can kind of get pushed to the wayside. And I think that's sad because, I mean, I loved it as a kid, but when I watch it as an adult, I have so much of a greater appreciation for it because there's all these moments that cater to the adult viewer, and I think it's a lot of fun.
One thing that I was so surprised when watching it, because my mind when I was a kid watching it, I would never have noticed this. Also, I don't even know if it actually would have, if I actually would have heard it, since I always watched it when it came on TV. But I was so surprised each of the times that they said "bitch" in the film. Like,
yes, well, because she
whoa.
says the bitch is back.
Yeah.
Okay, but you also have to consider do you ever like if you watch older, no, not like, I mean, yeah, older, like 80s, but even early 90s kids movies, they swear or they have like inappropriate content. Like, it's a thing. I feel like kids movies nowadays are much more tame compared to what we were allowed to watch.
I think there's that, but there's also two other things to it. One, on when you're a little kid, you don't notice the more adult things in these films. But also, since as with a lot of these Halloween movies that I love, I didn't watch like the original version of them. I would be watching a TV version that would come out on ABC Family every year, for their 13 Nights of Halloween, And so I would not be surprised if they would have edited that word out.
Oh, they definitely edited stuff for TV. And the big one that I think about is Ghostbusters. Because there is a scene that I never saw. I never saw it until I bought the DVD of Ghostbusters. And it's when Dan Aykroyd is in bed and a ghost starts like getting it on with him.
Hmm.
I don't remember that at all, and none of my family does because they cut that out.
Hmm.
They cut that out of the TV version, so you know that they're
Oh yeah.
censoring these swear words when you're watching it on TV and things like that. So it doesn't
The
surprise me
TV edits are
that you
something
don't
that
remember
is
that.
is so interesting to me because I kind of feel like they're almost a lost art because most stations don't do TV edits anymore, or they just show the original thing nowadays. It seems, but I find it so interesting because they always have some kind of goofy thing replacing it. And
Mm-hmm.
I always just find it so funny, the goofy thing, and I'm like, uh, I I want some filmmaker to try and make a film that is particularly trying to make itself seem like it's a TV edit of a film, by having like some
You know what?
very goofy lines.
I actually think I think it's funny, and I think there's kind of a niche for like weird sort of films like that. So anybody listening who's a filmmaker, run with that idea because
It's
it would be really
like
funny.
I feel like the way something like that could work is trying to make it be a sort of like um Truman Show sort of thing where like
Mm.
where this it's this world where everyone they cannot curse or talk about sexual things, so they'll have something replacing it that's absolutely goofy. But then like one character starts realizing what's going on is like, wait, these what are you saying? This makes no sense.
Hmm. I'm trying to think. I can't remember what it was, but I have a vivid memory of that thing where somebody is trying to swear and it just keeps getting bleeped out or replaced. And I don't remember if it's TV or movie, but I vividly remember that. And I remember them just being like, what the? And they're getting bleeped out as they are talking. Oh God, that's gonna bother me. But yeah, that sort of thing would be for an entire like kind of film to do that. It makes me think of the really bizarre radio edits for songs that
Yeah.
that are
Oh my
just
god, those.
like it's like that doesn't even make sense now.
Yeah, definitely. Like this is I've talked to different people about, but before they'll be like, do you rather the original version or these TV ads? I'm like, I mean, sometimes I actually rather the TV edits because it's just so funny how ridiculous they are.
For me, it's I will take whatever my favorite will be whatever version I saw first. So if
Hmm.
I saw the TV edit version of something first, I'm like, oh, that's it. That's my favorite. Sorry, my cat just jumped on something and it freaked me
It's
out.
fine.
No, I was like, that's my favorite. But if I saw the original first, definitely have to go that route.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh, I can understand that. Now getting back to Casper though. One thing I was thinking about after rewatching this last night was I kind of think it's wild that there hasn't been like some company trying to do a new adaptation of Casper for the big screen. And since this came out, like I feel like this would be a great IP for them to use, and I think a lot of people will really want more of these family Halloween movies, particularly ones in theaters. Like there are not very many
True.
that come out in theaters anymore. Oh, and I'm pretty sure that's the whole reason why Beetlejuice 2 did so well at the box office because people just are so happy to get a Halloween movie in theaters again.
Absolutely. I know that so after Casper, they made Casper meets Wendy, which the character of Wendy is from the Casper comics, and by Hilary Duff. I think she was like 11 years old at the time. But that was a straight to
Yeah,
video release,
yeah,
and
and
it did not
I'm pretty
do
sure
well.
I'm pretty sure I've watched like all of the straight to video and television films of Casper, but I'm like particularly wanting like a decent sized budget theatrical old Casper film again.
Yeah.
Not something that's
Well,
really cheaply made.
oh, no, fair enough. That's the thing with the CGI and stuff that we have now. You could make the ghosts again, but you could still give them like they did with Tim Burton did with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, you
Mhm.
could give it new CGI, but have that same original Casper charm
Yeah,
to it.
definitely.
You could definitely do that. That
I
would be
think
a lot of
though
fun. I
one
would watch
thing
it.
I think the one thing that they need to absolutely make sure to do is don't try to make Casper look realistic. Keep him looking cartoony.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the
No,
biggest
I
thing to
would
get that
agree.
charm because you're not because just like when they just like before they redesigned Sonic, people were angry because they tried to make him look too realistic and it kind of ruined that charm.
No, exactly. And the way Casper is depicted in the film, it looks very much like how he looks in the comic. So
Mhm.
it would make sense to keep that vibe. I did read that Devon Sawa, who was the the young the real life human version
Mhm.
of Casper, I guess he said that he's like, I would totally be down. He would totally be down for another Casper movie. And I love that. I absolutely love that. So
I would be cool to see him come back. I don't know if I would have him
he'd have
play
to come back
Casper
and
again because like
well, no, no, no. He'd have to
he's an adult now, but he could play the dad.
come back in a capacity that he's like,
Or
oh, the dad of somebody that moves into the house or something
like,
like that.
either that
But
or he could
he's
be
interested, and I think that's
one of the
fun.
three uncles.
True, true.
He
Ah,
definitely has the
yeah.
acting chops to probably pull off any one of those voices just because I only know I only feel that he has such a great range because of him playing a whole bunch of different roles in the Chucky TV show.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he's play he like every season of the Chucky show he plays a different character.
I kind of love that. I haven't. I need to catch up on that, but I do love. There's some people who are just so talented um with
Devon Sawa on
yeah,
his talent.
yeah, yeah. No, he's awesome, and I think I mean if Devon Sawa wants to come back to Casper in some capacity, you have to let him.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. I definitely like to see that happen. Like I really do think that would be very popular or a new Casper movie because in even though the this film that we're reviewing now didn't do well at the box office, I think it had. I think kids watching it again and again for years on TV has definitely made it a much more popular thing.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things. I was just talking about this with my director friend. It's Halloween movies. They're something that you come back to every year. They have rewatchability. It's the same thing like Christmas
Mm-hmm.
movies, right? And
Oh
so
yeah.
Casper has this wonderful rewatchability because it's set on Halloween and it's it's a family movie, so you can watch it with
Mm-hmm.
your kids as you grow up and
Oh.
have kids. The only thing is that a lot of the young kids now won't get any of the cultural or pop references, like the
Oh.
popular culture references, which there's quite a few of. So if they did another Casper movie, they'd have to have new pop culture
Mm-hmm.
references, which would be cool. That's one of the things that when I watch Casper back. I really enjoyed, when the dad's in the mirror and he keeps changing in the mirror, becoming different
Oh
actors, and he becomes the crypt keeper, right?
yeah.
That's so funny. If
Mhm.
you did Casper now, you'd have to do something with pop people in popular culture now. Pretty cool
Yeah.
though.
And it's interesting because like what now I've never watched any of the Crypt Keeper movies. Um, are those more oriented towards this is
Welcome
really annoying.
back.
But the Crypt Keeper movies are those saying that are oriented towards adults or towards children?
I'm gonna say it's both. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it when I was younger, but I also think about how I enjoyed a lot of things when I was younger that maybe I shouldn't have been allowed to
So
watch.
the reason
So I think I need to watch
re-
it
reason I
again.
ask is because I was thinking I'm thinking like for like if there were to reference a character or from today, who could they use? I'm like right
Hmm.
now the most popular like wild thing they could reference is sign that I definitely don't think children are gonna get, which is Art the Clown.
Yeah, that would be one that yeah,
Like
no,
I'm trying
you
to
definitely
think
couldn't.
what else
You
like
couldn't
is actually
do
like really
that.
popular today for a spooky character.
Oh gosh. I mean, you'd have to go with a more classic. If you went a horror character, you'd have to go with a more
Mm-hmm.
classic character, like maybe
Yeah,
Jason or something, solely because
yeah, either that.
it's a
uh, let's get on with the film. I one thing that I love in the film is that we got a Dan Aykroyd cameo for Ghostbusters. I thought that was so fun to see him in there and him say, "Call
that is
someone
perfect.
else." So that was
You
great.
know, it's amazing. I think I read that Dan Aykroyd actually said that was Ghostbusters canon. So I'm okay with that. I'm like, okay, it's
Uh,
canon.
uh,
I
hey,
I love it.
if they wanna have some time with I'm like a future Ghostbusters film have a Casper cameo, I'd be very happy to see that.
That would
Um,
be so much fun.
and um, I love the personalities of all the ghosts in this so much. They are like whether it's Casper, the uncles, or when the villain becomes a ghost. They're all just so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah, no, Kerrigan she's amazing. Well, then she has that iconic line, the bitch is back. She is, oh God, she's just such a great villain. And so when she
Mm.
becomes a ghost, it's iconic. It really is. She's a
Uh,
wonderful character that you love to hate.
oh yeah, definitely. I think my favorite characters is in this just because I love sort of trickster kind of characters is the uncles because I always
Yeah.
just have so much fun watching trickster characters on screen. Oh man.
Well, and it's cool because they are just kind of are these trick ghosts, but then as they get to know the
Mhm.
dad, they trick him, right, with that with the prank that Fatso
Well,
is his wife. Well,
mhm.
we can bring her, and they trick him, and he gets so upset about everything, and then they take him to that bar, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna kill him because they actually starting to like him, and you see these moments where it's like they're not just these like one-dimensional trickster characters, and they have more
Uh,
depth to them, and I really like that.
uh, one thing though, where I'm like, what was going on there is why is there a hole right in front of the bar's door?
Right? Like what is going on in friendship? Like they just allow this. They're like, okay, construction, we're just gonna have gigantic deep holes in front of doors.
Yeah.
That is
Oh my
completely
god.
up to code in friendship.
Uh, that and there's only one other thing in the film where I'm like, this is kind of a plot hole. Is the other one is that is with the with Casper's problem in the film of like having his uncles, these bullies, around. Why doesn't he just leave the house? Since he's clearly able to do that since he went to um the lady's not apartment, her hotel room to
True.
get her to call all this his therapist guy for ghosts.
Well, I mean, to some extent, it is home. He shouldn't have to leave it.
Yeah.
And how many other ghosts are there? I mean, I'm guessing there's lots, but only the ones with unfinished business. He'd have to, if he went somewhere else, he'd have to make new friends if there even are any ghosts. And
Mhm.
so maybe that's why
Makes sense.
he
It's just
stays with
like if you
them.
keep, if I just like, you don't have any ties like making you have to stay here, and being a ghost, you don't have like a financial issue. So it just to be able like, I these people are abusing you, you might as well just leave. But
Yeah, I
if you're
mean, fair enough.
if like there were like some kind of thing that was actually like keeping him there, like a financial situation, which if it were or people alive, you'd have problems. I would absolutely be find it understandable, but since he's a ghost, I'm just like you could absolutely get out of this situation if you wanted to, but you're kind of just letting this happen to
Right?
yourself.
Like it's not like you're paying rent. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's paying rent and then he has to go pay rent in a total, like he's
Oh
got
yeah.
utilities to pay. He's gonna break a lease. No, he could literally
Uh,
just scoot away. Um
I think
but how do you leave though? You got like this cool thing that
uh,
your dad was this inventor. You've got this amazing, cool house. Like, I don't know. I think I'd want to
yeah,
stay too. Like live in
understandable.
that cool mansion.
Oh, there's only one thing in the film that I think like actually does like really not age well, and that is whenever the two times that Casper says, "Can I keep you?" as if this girl is a
It,
thing that he can keep.
Yeah, and apparently that wasn't originally scripted. I read that, but I think it's sweet when you're young, but as an
Mhm.
adult, it gives you the ick.
Yeah, I'm like,
And
this a little
yeah,
weird.
I don't, but I try to look at it. Yeah, I try to look at it with the lens of
Mhm.
a small child, like
Yeah.
a tiny guy. She thought that was sweet. She was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
it's so cute." And then when
Yeah.
Devon Sawa came up and he said it, it is like heartthrob. Like they knew what they were when they were at Devon Sawa. They knew what they did. So I think it's sweet through that lens. But as an
Mhm.
adult, yeah, it would if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, "Oh no, that gives me ick."
Yeah, I can't imagine ever telling someone that and be like, no, 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 you're not. You are absolutely. The do not get to own me. I'm not your thing to play with. And, oh man, try to think. What else do
I'm
I
gonna
want to talk
start
about?
saying to cats every time I see them on the street. I'm just gonna whisper to cats and take them. Just like
um,
whisper to cats, "Can I keep you?" And then just snag them off the street.
I love all of, like the inventions in this house. I thought those were so cool, and the fact that they were done like practically, I think was made really cool. Like, I feel like you don't see a lot of stuff like that these days done practically. Like most sets, if they're like signed is actually like needs a lot of care put into it, they'll just make it be a digital background. So I love that
Yeah.
in the film.
No, it's so true. I
Uh,
need that wake up machine. I mean, I don't need it to shave my face or anything, but
yeah.
I want that wake up machine because if something forced me to and like forced me to get out of bed and just did all of my getting ready stuff for me and I didn't actually have to move,
Oh yeah.
I think I would be a lot more productive in the morning.
Yeah, and just instead of
But
having
it's
it
really
be,
interesting because the mansion.
what were you gonna say?
Sorry, we got the leg going on.
I
I was
understand.
just commenting on that the mansion in Spur that was also used in Backstreet Boys music video, and I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's definitely cool. That was what I was wondering about. Watching the film, like, has this been used anywhere else? Because so many mansions in the movies are used in many different movies. Like they're like the X-Men and Mansion and in those movies has been used in dozens of different films over the years, and it's always so cool to find out the sign that a film you're watching has been used in something else.
Oh, I love that. So for me, it's the house in American Horror Story, like the first scene. They also use that house in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it's just cool to see that house
Nice.
pop up in different things.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think like I probably the most famous use of a house and just a whole bunch of different things, and it was all just because just to reference this thing is the Bates Motel, but being used in a whole bunch of different things.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
so true.
Trying to think what else do I want to talk about out for this review. Um, at the end of the film, do they now somehow own the house? Like they never were owning the house
Uh,
before that, so I'm wondering how did they get the house? Did somehow like the bank decide because this lady hadn't paid them yet that they would just get her house since she died?
I mean, I guess maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that was
I mean, the end of the movie ends with them just like dancing,
yeah.
but like,
I'm
yeah,
assuming that they're
what
staying at
happens?
the
Yeah, what
house.
happens with the house and stuff?
Yeah. But also I'm
I
wondering
would want to
is
stay. That
I'm
they got a
wondering
desk though.
is I don't remember if the like direct to video films after this are supposed to actually be the same continuity or not, because I'm wondering like is Casper still around, or did he go into his light, or what happened with him?
You know, it would help if I could remember anything about,
Yeah, I could not. I don't remember
Casper
any of
meets
those.
Wendy, anything like that. I can't remember
I
anything,
can't
which
remember
is so
anything
sad
about
because I'm a
either.
huge Hilary Duff fan, but I saw that movie once. Like I've never seen it again. So I've been pumped on continuity for future Casper films. I hope it eventually into the light. You know, he deserves that. 12-year-old
Well,
boy.
I don't know whether he wants to go into his light or not, since he now has a girlfriend. So I don't know. But yeah.
Well, I mean, like he's a low.
I do though as well. I feel like I whenever I'm watching any kind of thing anymore with like immortal characters, or which a ghost is technically immortal. There is a part of me that gets a little bit of an ick now where I'm watching it, where I'm like, um, you're trying to date someone who is a child. Yeah, you may have died when you were a child, but that was many years ago. So you're kind of not on that same level anymore.
Oh yeah, the maturity is definitely not there. I mean, I guess if you die at a really young age, like
Uh,
12, you would probably
yeah,
be stunted
maybe.
there. It's not like, you know, Edward Cullen, who died
Yeah, but like
15,
Edward
you
is definitely
are
one
old
where I'm
enough
just
that you
like,
can learn a lot.
Edward is definitely one where I'm like, that's a little bit really weird, weird, like, and not like because he's not, he's like actually like over 100 years old. He's definitely matured a lot over those 100 years, and not only that, but
Oh yeah.
also like I think like the actors is there are a lot of times where they'll have one actor who is like over 18 and then the other is like 15 or 16, and I'm like, that's also a bit weird. Like I'm pretty sure or the
Yeah.
first I'm pretty sure the first Twilight film, the actor or playing Jacob was like 13 or 14 at the time. I'm while Kristen
He
Stewart
was younger, that's
was in
true.
his while Kristen Stewart was like in her 20s. He's like, it feels a little bit weird to do that kind of casting.
Yeah, yeah. He was young, but I mean, it's pretty evident in the first movie how much younger he is. But he
Mhm.
by New Moon, he has definitely he's aged
Yeah,
enough and super bulky. So he
that's
that worked better. But the casting was weird with him anyway.
yeah. It's like that's a sign where as I grow older, I've started to realize about films with that that tackle romance as for one of the characters is a child and one of them is a mortal being who's been a long time alive for a long time. Where I'm just like, that's just that's a little bit much to when you really you take the time to think about it.
Yeah.
I know they don't want you to think about it, but sadly that's how
No,
my
you're
mind
totally right.
works. I think what else do I want to talk about with this? Is um, I think one criticism I could have of this film is I kind of would have liked it to be a little bit longer because it even though it is an hour and 40 minutes long, it felt like it went by really quickly. And I was like, an extra 20 minutes or something, I would have been absolutely happy to have that.
It's a sign of a good movie that you get so into it that you don't notice the time passing. But
Yeah.
I do wish, I mean, I wish at the end, it ends with just them dancing. I could have, I would have watched an extra, 10 minutes of them resolving
Mhm.
things and maybe figuring out like where they live now and things like that. I would have watched that.
Oh yeah.
But I do think the ending is sweet and cute, and I'm still happy with how it ends.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm not like mad about how it ends. I just like I feel like I would have been happy with having some more or and just like even if it's just like adding some more or jokes and bits throughout the film. I would have been absolutely happy to see that because I loved all of the jokes and the bits in the film. It was great. Um, I think is interesting that I don't think they were very clear about is like what determines whether a ghost is a ghost goes through things or if they can just hold something because that's what because they definitely like played around a lot with the idea that sometimes they can, sometimes they can't.
Well,
Um,
yeah, of course you've got the moves that um but also you have them eating breakfast and it just falls on. Casper has to
yeah.
sweep it up, but then Casper can hold the dustpan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Make it make sense. I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know the answer to that. I think
yeah.
you're it's just funny and you don't think
Oh
about it.
yeah,
But now
definitely.
we're just like sitting here. We watch movies for a living, right? And it's like you watch them now and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, what are the physics behind this?
Yeah, definitely. All of that. And I think though that's really about everything that I want to talk about with the film. Is there any last things you would like to talk about with this film?
Um, no, I just I really love it, and watching it again as an adult, I still loved it. I still thought it was great, and I thought it was just as funny, but in a completely different way. I'm really happy it's currently on Netflix, but it's at least in Canada, it's only on Netflix until November 5th. So, if you want to watch it now.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And like I highly recommend if you've never watched this Halloween movie before, absolutely watch it. Watch it. It is a massively fun time. I'm and like it'll give you the exact nostalgic Halloween feels that you want. I think this is I mentioned to you before, or on the Cinema Society Saturday Discord, or for like I love horror movies, but when it comes to the Halloween season, I want to watch more family Halloween movies than actual horror films. Just because I love that nostalgia of watching those as a kid.
Oh, absolutely. I've been throughout the month I've been doing my 31 days of Halloween where I'm watching a Halloween horror movie that I've never seen before. And if I'm being honest, I'm getting tired of that. And so watching Casper today was it was so nice.
Oh
And
yeah,
it makes me want to watch Monster House tomorrow and
oh yeah,
Tower of Terror on Halloween.
nice.
I enjoy those movies a lot. And yeah, it was just nice to break the normal horror that I watch and just watch something that is spooky but spooky for kids.
It's
It was
you
just
know
refreshing.
something I find so interesting about it. I'm like when it comes to Halloween, I want to watch these spooky kids movies, but then at Christmas, I'm not like rushing to watch kids Christmas films. At Christmas, I'm like I want to find on Christmas movies for adults. It's whether it's either is Christmas horror or it's Christmas raunchy comedy. A like I find so interesting because I'm like you'd think it would be the other way around, that I would want to watch the spooky, that I want to watch the horror or stuff for adults at Halloween, but then the really kidsy kind of films at Christmas. But I just find it very interesting that that's how my brain works.
For me, Halloween and Christmas, all of them are about nostalgia.
Mhm.
So at Christmas, I watch a bunch of movies that I watch every year. So I'm gonna watch
Oh yeah.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We watch Love Action, but on the list of things I watch every year are the He and Sheila Christmas special and the Arthur's Perfect Special. I have them on DVD, and so it is. I'm watching kids' Christmas
Mhm.
specials, but it's about the nostalgia because I
Oh yeah.
watched them when I
That's
was
true.
young, and those holidays need for nostalgia.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
the
It's like
mixture
this,
for me.
yeah. Like I will, well, I'm happy to throughout the year watch horror movies, but when it comes to the Halloween time, I'm like if it's like time for like Cinema Society Saturday, I'm so happy to watch a horror film. But I'm like at least on my me time. I'm like I want to watch these spooky kids movies that I grew up with. And like I also want to find more spooky kids films that I've never seen before, or that's always is a cool thing to try and look for, or and I find and that's one thing that I find is actually hard to do. Hello,
Hi. Hi.
hello, hello. I'm
I can hear you all
uh,
right.
Rebecca.
Yes. Hi.
Well, That's I was just gonna say I saw it seems hard to find new spooky kids movies to and it's but which it's surprising to me because that that there doesn't seem to be a lot of like less popular ones I can find and get to experience for the first time. But that's really everything I want to say for this episode. Is there any final words you'd like to say before?
Thank you so much for having me. I hope everybody has a wonderful spooky season. And I had so much fun being here with you, John, and just talking about Casper. Thank you so much. My name is Rebecca. I'm RebeccaAttack 16, also known as your resident spooky girl.
Yeah, definitely check her out on TikTok. Thank you for coming. Thank you everyone for listening. If you like this game analysis, please give it a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episodes. Please let me know. If you like to listen more from me, please subscribe. Many more game analysis coming, so people are keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash Trivia John, signing off.